name is Robin Sorensen, and today I will be presenting my action research proposal, which is a study of small group instruction to differentiate learning within the classroom. I selected this area of research because as a teacher, I have found it increasingly difficult to reach the diverse needs of my students. Classrooms are becoming more diverse each year, and while diversity provides many positive opportunities for learning, it can also pose a challenge to meet the diverse needs as teachers. In an attempt to reach more students and work towards their academic goals, I have become curious about using non-traditional teaching styles to accommodate a diverse classroom by designing lessons that allow for multiple methods of learning the same skill. Let's look at the action research plan. The effectiveness of small group instruction in place of traditional teaching strategies is unknown. This research aims to answer the question, what impact does differentiated small group instruction have on student performance? Let's look at the diagram to the left to see the 5 steps of this plan. First, we need to determine the standard. A school site would volunteer at least 2 classrooms to be observed as they teach a specific set of standards in any subject. One would act as the control, teaching in their traditional method using a lecture-style whole class and then a brief student-independent activity. The other classroom would undergo adjustments to teach the same lesson, but utilizing a mini-lesson of content whole group and spending a majority of time in student-targeted centers with one teacher-led small group to reinforce the area of need for that group. Teachers would be aided by a curriculum content coach to plan those mini-lessons and prepare their small groups. They will want to differentiate their groups depending on student needs and prepare materials for each of them to work towards their goals. Step 4 will be collecting the data. This is when our researchers will step in to analyze the effectiveness of centers using mixed methods, which will combine quantitative data of individual and overall student progress with qualitative data from the teachers and students. I will go further into detail on the data collection tools in a moment. First, let's continue with the plan. The 5th step is reflecting on the results. At the conclusion of this standard, the results would be analyzed to determine if the small group method proved beneficial as opposed to their traditional counterpart. This process can be repeated in multiple classrooms at multiple school sites to see how effective it is in each community. Let's talk about the data. We will be using mixed methods for this data collection, using quantitative data from their pre- and post-test and student work samples. For qualitative data, we will be conducting teacher interviews as well as reflecting on student journals. All of this data will come together to create a comprehensive understanding of the student performance in both classrooms and reveal how teachers and students felt about the process. To minimize any potential risks and manage this research plan, all researchers collecting data and interviewing teachers and students will need to meet qualifying backgrounds in education, child work, and have no criminal history that could pose a threat to the research or the subjects. Researchers will be given specific data points to look for, including rating scales to determine the effectiveness of student engagement, and given predetermined prompts for teacher interviews and student journals. This will minimize any discrepancy between school sites and classrooms. To protect students' rights, we will make sure that they and their parents are well informed of the research we are conducting. We will host an in-person information night to inform parents in the selected classrooms about the study and how it can benefit their child. We can record this session to share digitally if parents are unable to attend. The students will be able to watch an informative video in student-friendly terms before meeting their researcher to ask questions. This research involves many people of the community, so let's talk about the stakeholder roles. First, we have our teachers who are responsible for implementing and designing small group instruction for the targeted standard. They will select and administer assessments and progress monitoring tools, and collect student samples for portfolios. Curriculum coaches are responsible for providing trainings and resources to the teacher. School admin is responsible for communication between the research team, the curriculum coaches, and the volunteer teachers. District admin is responsible for providing any small group trainings the teacher may need and may use the study to present their findings. And students are involved in the study as long as their parents consent. The timetable for this study could vary depending on the school site, but we predict it would take 14 to 16 weeks for the whole course of the study, typically half the school year, with 7 to 9 of those weeks actually occurring in the classroom with the teachers practicing this small group instruction. To the left, you can see the stages of this research as we shift from the project planning to the pre-implementation, baseline assessments, implementing the small groups, the midpoint monitoring, continuing implementation, the post-assessment, data analysis, and then finally our reflection and presentation of our finding. This research is going to yield many outcomes and benefits for our students, teachers, and other stakeholders. In terms of student performance, we're hoping to meet the diverse needs of all students by promoting more individual growth. We're hoping to hear from our teachers about how they had to invest their time into the resources and curriculum. We also want to know how they perceive the effectiveness of the mini lessons as opposed to the traditional teaching style. And we want to know if this helped their classroom management in any way. Student engagement, we're hoping that the students were more invested in their learning and maybe increased their collaboration with peers in the small group setting. If effective, this research would hopefully motivate teachers to modify their current curriculum or seek more small group-oriented curriculum to meet their students' needs. Admin may be motivated to continue this study across grade levels and subjects to improve their schools and district student achievement. And if districts start seeking out this type of curriculum more, our curriculum designers may want to create more non-traditional curriculum to aid teachers and accommodate the different levels of learners for each lesson or standard. I think action research has made a lasting impact on me as a teacher, as I plan to use this to improve my classroom and my community. It helps me think more critically about how I can improve my profession by analyzing others' research and creating my own. As a teacher, I'm constantly looking for ways to improve, and action research has opened my eyes to the ways that I can test certain strategies or research strategies that will really help me and my students grow. I hope I can incorporate action research into my work as a teacher and hopefully someday as I become a curriculum designer. Thanks for taking the time to listen. Here are the references for the content of this presentation. Thank you.